there was this presidential debate that was organized. And I remember very well that our current president made a statement that when he is elected into office, they were asking him an anti-corruption question. And he said, when he is elected into office, one key principle he will use to get corrupt people out of the state institutions is use the Anas principle.
Yeah, thank you very much. You have specifically mentioned corruption within the taxation system. What exactly will you do to stamp this out?
The measures are going to be difficult, but there have to be a variety of them, including what I call the Anas principle, setting up highly motivated professional groups of young people who will work, if you like, as it were, undercover to unearth examples of corruption wherever they can find it, and thereby allow the authority to deal with the issue. Because not only do you unearth the corruption, but you actually deal with it in terms of sending people to court, prosecuting them. Hopefully the courts will cooperate and make sure that the offenders are found guilty and sanctions appropriately enforced. So a variety of measures, but a key one is the Anas principle, as well as, of course, what you do to securize those who are in the tax collecting agencies.
Honorable Hon.KenAgyapong has indeed fought a battle that many thought it was impossible. Yes, welcome to the spotlight, and this is where we give you the world credible information that has happened right here in Ghana. Now, this is a case that started way back in 2018, and people have described this as one of the topmost cases in court that involves someone well accredited with investigative journalism and trying to get the criminals in court within society to be hauled off and to face prosecution. And it is very well intriguing to put it in a context that indeed this case has gone through 3 different judges. Yes, 3 different judges, and finally it ended today. Now, the verdict as the judge gave today was that Aremeyaw Anas indeed entraps his victims, and then as a result he gets them to commit themselves into a crime. Now, Honorable Hon.KenAgyapong says that for him, he's happy judgment had come at last. Yes, it has ended. And between you and I, we know that this has been a landmark case because it has traveled through 3 different judges. One of them we know has passed on. And Honorable Kennedy was saying, he wished that judge was around to get some level of vindication, because when the case started, all through and through, that judge was one person who didn't like the modus operandi of Aremeyaw Anas. All right, so let's put this issue in context. Okay, now first and foremost, Anas's strategy is well acknowledged and well established when it comes to investigative journalism. Of course, we know that there have been several people who are falling into that trap. So if the judge says it's an entrapment and it is not really an investigative journalism, well, we cannot question the judgment because he has studied the case and has given judgment. However, Aremeyaw Anas and his Tiger PI team has released a statement, and they call this judgment a travesty of justice. And they think the judge did not really exercise good, judgmental opinion for the entirety of the case, according to them. And I read some portions to you because it is good we do that. They are saying that indeed the judge's position was that Agyapong indeed defamed Anas, or better still, Aremeyaw Anas in this case. However, the judge did not take into consideration that entrapment or that defamation of Honorable Agyapong on Anas is anything to go by, because Anas had done a documentary and he has shown people how he entraps them. So if Kennedy also does the same level of documentary, also exposing the one who is exposing other people, in other words, calling it "Who Watches the Watchman," it is of the same essence. Dog bite dog, nobody will cry. You get the point. So if you have done it and I have also done it, why are you saying that I have defamed you? And this is where it's very intriguing, and it's very fascinating as well. Now let's continue. We find the decision of the court an unfortunate travesty of justice and very inimical to the administration of justice and fairness. If for nothing at all, Mr. Agyapong made an allegation of murder against Mr. Anas. Part of the statement reads. Now, so they at least, for want of a better word, wanted the judgment to say that Mr. Agyapong, what can be say Anas ekukumobi na yehwe no wenkumobi or what have you. But the judge felt the case has its own way to which he is going to adjudicate it and make a judgment out of it. So he thinks that should be it. But you see, one major question from us, the spotlight we would like to ask, is that is Anas's way of entrapping people, better the way of investigating people, an entrapment process which, in other words, puts a bait somewhere for somebody to fall into it and then we call the person a corrupt person? It's a very big question. You and I must try to bring comments and answers to it, because way back in 2016, during the electioneering campaign of all the major parties, there was this presidential debate that was organized. And I remember very well that our current president made a statement that when he is elected into office, they were asking him an anti-corruption question. And he said, when he is elected into office, one key principle he will use to get corrupt people out of the state institutions is use the Anas principle.
Yeah, thank you very much. You have specifically mentioned corruption within the taxation system. What exactly will you do to stamp this out?
The measures are going to be difficult, but there have to be a variety of them. Including what I call the Anas principle, setting up highly motivated professional groups of young people who will work, if you like, as it were, undercover to unearth examples of corruption wherever they can find it, and thereby allow the authority to deal with the issue. Because not only do you unearth the corruption, but you actually deal with it in terms of sending people to court, prosecuting them. Hopefully the courts will cooperate and make sure that the offenders are found guilty and sanctions appropriately enforced. So a variety of measures, but a key one is the Anas principle, as well as, of course, what you do to securize those who are in the tax collecting agencies.
That is a basic statement, the Anas principle. So, are we saying that per the judgment of today, Anas principle is not good? Now, can we approbate and reprobate at the same time? Because a member of government and in the stature of Mr. Hon.KenAgyapong, who is the chair of the Defense Committee of Parliament, he is a part of government, and the head of the government, that is the president. Now, two people are fighting on the same subject. The president says, I will use the Anas principle. And Mr. Agyapong says, the Anas principle is trap, or better still, entrapment. Okay, Your guests will be so good for us that we expect you to write your comments to us. Do we have to say Anas principle is no good at all, so we don't need it? Or Anas principle has some element of good deeds that will help us to take the bad nuts out of the society and then keep them in jail? Now, I'm waiting for your comment right here. Make sure you put your comment there and share this video. Now, Honorable Kennedy, in his benevolent lifestyle, granted an interview and he said, yes, the court have made judgment and they have fined Aremeyaw Anas of a tune of 50,000 Ghana cedis. He said, I don't need the money. I don't need the money. And indeed, that amount of money, which is 50,000 cedis, Anas should take it.
He's the judges. He asked himself, how could he have made that mistake? That 3 people covered their face and he didn't even know who was Anas. And still convicted his colleagues, judges. Unfortunately, he's dead. He should have seen today's judgment for him to clear his conscience. But I'm not going to talk too much. All I'll say is the victory is especially for Ghc and the gentleman here. What they have gone through, Anas's humiliation in this country. Nobody, no citizen of this country should go through like that. I tell you today, the 50,000, I don't need it. I give it to him, but he should live with his conscience.
And he's saying that, you see, he dedicated to Ghc and one other colleague whom he didn't mention his name. And again, you and I must also understand that there's a twist to this. You know, Ghc is a prodigy of Honorable Ken. You know, as a result of his investigative journalism that Anas and his PI team did way back in Dubai, where Ghc was given a whooping sum of money. He was seen packing money into a polythene bag. That was as a result of Ahmed Swale's death. You remember? And that is the main reason why Ken is dedicating the victory in court today to Ghc. Wow, that's so good. It's a good form of democracy where everybody brings out their mindset. If anything is bothering you, you go to court and the court will be the best judge. It is the spotlight, and we want to thank you for taking time to watch us. Share this video to your colleagues and your loved ones, and want to hear from you again. Bye-bye.